Welcome to the Made for Business podcast, where Catholic moms come to learn how to build a business that is simple, holy, and profitable. I am your host, Sterling Jaquith, and today I want to talk about how lonely it is to be a six figure, multiple six figure, and I imagine, though I'm not quite there yet, a seven figure business owner. And even if you're not there, even if you haven't started your business and you've been thinking about an idea, you've had business on your heart, or whether you've started a business and you haven't quite hit six figures yet, I want you to listen to this episode because this might be your future and you could begin planning for it now. So, I think that there is a particularly unique challenge being a Catholic mom business owner who makes more than six figures a year in her business. So that means her business revenue is $100,000 or more. There aren't a lot of places where this kind of person gathers, right? It's not your friends group, particularly for those of us that homeschool. We're in a very kind of traditional community where most of the moms are stay-at-home moms. And so you feel very strange. You feel very out of place. And with no mindset training, if it's just you, your brain is probably freaking out. It's probably like, this is wrong. I shouldn't be doing this. This is so strange. And because you're going to look to your community, the people that are closest to you, to see what's normal, if you don't see yourself in any of them, your brain is going to want to try to conform you to them. And so I just want you to know how lonely and awful that feels. I'm going to tell you what to do about it in a minute. But just step one is if you feel weird, lonely, hinky, out of place, like something's not right, like a square peg in a round hole, of course. Because mostly in the Catholic community, particularly in very conservative groups and traditional groups, and especially if you go to the Latin Mass, you're just going to see a bunch of stay-at-home and or homeschooling moms who are not working and making six figures. You might even meet some who have like side hustles, like, or work a little bit, maybe work a little bit for someone else even. I actually know a lot of like physical therapists or nurses or, women who are doing jobs like that where they can work a little bit and be home with their kids. But I, in this journey, did not have a lot of examples of women who were home with their kids, homeschooling them, and making multiple six figures. I think there's kind of like one more subset, which is you make most of the money in your household. That's kind of unusual too. But since I've been talking about that, I'm meeting more and more of them. They're kind of like coming out of the woodworks like, me too. I make most of our money. But it's a little embarrassing. It's a little, not embarrassing, but exposing maybe. And again, it's just unusual. So if you're looking around and everybody else has green hair and you have red hair, you're going to feel weird about that if no one explains to you what's going on. So I'm going to explain it to you. God calls a very small percentage of women who are Catholic to still raise their children, because that's our primary vocation, and also build a business that makes multiple six figures a year. And for some of you, it's going to be most of the money your family makes. And for some of you, it's going to be in addition to whatever your husband makes. And that calling is very real. I see it in the women that I meet who have that calling. Like I can almost touch it. It's such a strong feeling. I mean, a lot of women who are interested in business, I don't get that feeling from everyone, but I know it when I see it. I'm like, ooh, right there. God is calling this woman to step into this story. And immediately I think, I bet she's really lonely. I bet she doesn't have very many people to talk to. I bet she thinks she's doing it wrong. I bet she thinks she's weird. I bet she thinks she's failing her kids. Of course you would think that because you're looking around you and you don't see a lot of other yous. So a couple of things I want you to do. One, just take a deep breath. God has probably called you to this work. If God has put a calling in your heart to run a business, the amount of money that you make isn't really part of the calling, but I'm just going to say like a big business or a full-time business right? There's some sort of qualifier there. God doesn't say, Sterling, I call you to make $112,000 this year, right? But there's like buckets and there's I'm going to do something on the side bucket. And then this isn't on the side. This is a bigger type of business. He calls some of you to that. And I want you to know that I believe it is genuinely possible to raise your kids at home and homeschool them and make multiple six figures. My hope is to cross the 7-figure line next year. I think it's an aggressive goal. I will be super impressed with myself if I do that. But I think that's kind of where I'm going. And I don't have a lot of examples. There are more now, which is awesome. And so step number 1 is just be clear about your calling. If you're not sure, spend more time with the Lord to be sure. I'm 100% sure that God is calling me to build a big business while raising my kids. And that I can do both as well as He wants me to. Like He knows who I am. He knows my personality. He knows I have adult ADHD. He knows I have 6 small children. He knows that I have some tension in my marriage. And He's still saying, hey, I'm calling you to this. I know you can handle it. I think really what He's saying is that He can handle it. And if I just link arms with Him, we'll get it done. Right? No one's confused about whose strength is making it happen. And so get clear on your conviction with the Lord. If He's calling you to that, He knows the kid thing is going to work out. Let's stop chewing on that all the time. I've been having a lot of conversations right now about what it means to be a good mom, what it means to educate children, what it means to raise them in the faith. And I'll tell you, I get radically different answers from each mom that I talk to, which is fine, but just know your answer and know that it's going to be what your family values. For example, my family at the moment has not chosen to value soccer practice. We do not do that. I think soccer is great. I see so many families who thrive there. I see so many families who enjoy it and the kids love it and it's part of their family culture. And we have just chosen that is not part of our family culture. My husband has chosen, and I don't mean to make it sound separate, it's just that he's doing it, to really value camping. He's camping right now with my oldest 4 children. And so we all get to choose the things that we value. But choose and then ask yourself, am I living up to that value? Not something vague like good mom or educate the children or raise them in the faith. That doesn't mean anything to any of you, but you're beating yourselves up with it. So if you're called to business, the kid thing's probably going to shake out. Get clear about what you value and then stop chewing on it every day. I do not spend a lot of time thinking I'm a bad mom. I don't know if that's just like a supernatural gift from God, but as soon as I found life coaching, I saw so clearly that didn't serve me at all. I got absolutely nothing out of thinking I was a bad mom. I feel pretty confident that I'm going to have strong adult relationships with all of my children. And I'm going to teach them how to listen to God and do what he says. So my biggest question is, am I modeling that? And for me, because he's asked me to do this business, the answer is yes at the moment. Okay, so step 1, get really clear that he's called you. Step 2, find a group of women who are doing the same thing. There are a lot of places you could go, right? Like there's a Catholic Women in Facebook group, Catholic Women in Business Facebook group. They're not all moms. I'm not interested in starting this, but somebody could start a Catholic moms in business who homeschool their kids. You could start a Catholic moms who your type of business, right? You could join any number of groups. You could join masters, right? We're all Catholic moms in business in our masters group. There's so many, but like find a place where other women sound and look like you. Not exactly, but just pretty close. I have several people that I know who are Catholic homeschooling moms that make multiple 6 figures. I don't know that I know a lot who are making 7 figures yet. I can see some that are going to cross that line soon, and I totally believe it's possible. So to me, it's not a problem that I don't see that because I know it's possible. Because when you see it, it helps your brain go, oh, okay. Now, I think we can still do things without seeing any other examples, but it's a lot easier if you have examples, and there are. So just go find some people. That's your flavor of it. We all have different flavors of it. So a group to hang out with. And then if you can take it one step further and find one friend that really is trying to do what you're trying to do, that you can text, that you can talk to, that you can Zoom with, that you can take walks with. This is a taller order, but she is worth looking for and she is worth waiting for. Because I have my friends that I talk about potty training and homeschooling with, but I also have my friends that I talk about business with. And I talk about how I'm scared about Facebook ads. I keep reading that people say Facebook ads aren't working, but then some people say it's amazing and magical, and that's how you grow your email list. And I'm just in this moment right now in this one slice of time where I just don't know what the answer is. And I want to just be able to complain about that with a friend. So having conviction that this is your calling, finding a group that you could belong to, and then trying to find a friend. I think those 3 things make this journey a whole lot less lonely. And nothing is wrong with you for feeling lonely and out of place. Of course you do. That is not a sign that you're doing it wrong, though. That is not a sign that you're not doing what God is asking you to do. It just means you looked around and everybody that you saw wasn't being called to the same thing, but somebody else is. Go find them, link arms with them, and really find someone who loves the Lord. Because I don't know about you, but the only reason I do this is because I feel like God has asked me to. If he asked me to stop, I would be disappointed, but I would say yes. Find somebody who loves the Lord that deeply. Because when I talk about business with my friends, we all know who we serve. We all know what our number one priority is. We don't spend time saying, oh, is it bad to make money? Should I not be doing this? Because we all know that we are called. And we all know that if God asked us to walk away, we would. Right? Like our goal is not storing up treasure in the barn, right? Everybody that I know who's a Catholic mom entrepreneur is really serving other people in a meaningful and lovely way. Like even the ones who make beautiful products, they're just selling these beautiful products to help families. I love it. And so I just wanted to give you like a big podcasting internet hug and just say, if you feel weird and lonely, I think that's pretty normal, but you don't have to stay that way. Fight for a community, fight for a friend, and keep talking to the Lord. The more we anchor ourselves to the Lord, the more we have the courage and the energy to do what He's asking to. And particularly pray for the gift of fortitude. Because fortitude is like knowing what He wants you to do and you just are tired or don't want to do it. And being an ultra conservative Catholic mom who homeschools and makes multiple six figures feels very scary. And so sometimes we just need to pray for the gift of fortitude to carry it out. Like, all right, Lord, I feel kind of weird doing this. I feel like I'm the only one. So please give me the gift of fortitude to bring this work to other people, to stand out, to shine brightly. Anytime we kind of expose ourselves in that way, it feels very risky. But I think the gift of fortitude gives us kind of that bravery, that little just oop, to be able to go out and do it. So I'm praying for you. You can come join Masters. That's a community. And then I'm going to launch a group program soon. That's not exactly what I want to call it. It's kind of like I'm going to journey with a small group of women as we build our businesses together. And I'm going to have one version of that for women who haven't made $100,000 yet. And I'm going to have the mastermind for women who have made $100,000. So both of those things are coming. I want to create rooms where Catholic moms can feel normal building businesses without having to justify ourselves, without having to explain it all the time and explain how much we really do love God and we really do love our children. Like, it's just a given. Everyone in that space really loves the Lord and really loves their children. And then together we're going to support each other to grow our businesses. But if you don't, come join a Made for Business group. There are so many out there. Join something. Find a friend. Don't do this alone. God is calling you to something important, and He wants your yes, and He doesn't want you to hate every minute of it, I promise. And so He will bring whoever you need. All right, mamas, I'm praying for you. Get to work and have a blessed day.